Okay. So the initial plan was like today, today's class will be taken by Dr. Vani, but then she had some other assignment, uh, so I'll be taking today, and then probably she'll be taking today. Sorry, tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Okay, so we were discussing about dispersion. We finished intermodal dispersion. So now we are going to see about intramodal dispersion. So this dispersion is also called as the chromatic dispersion. This is called as chromatic dispersion, and primarily this chromatic dispersion is because of the fact that the light source we are going to which we are using to launch the information signal inside an optical fiber always have a finite line width. So there is always a finite line width for the optical source, whether it's a laser or an LED. So here is a plot of the optical light output power from a laser. So this narrow one corresponds to laser, and the broader one corresponds to an LED. So, so though we have studied that an optical laser is a monochromatic source, in fact, it's not really a monochromatic source. It always have what is called as a finite line width. There is always an associated line width with an optical source, whether it's a laser or an LED. And in fact, for a laser, it's much narrower, but for an LED, it's much broader. That means if you are using LED as a light source for an optical communication system, then the dispersion due to the intramodal dispersion is going to be larger. So chromatic dispersion is also called by the name intramodal dispersion, and this dispersion is the dispersion that lies within the mode. So chromatic dispersion is the combined effect of both material dispersion and waveguide dispersion. We'll see about waveguide dispersion later. So the material dispersion is because of the fact that the optical fibers, what we use for transmitting information signal, is dispersive in nature. So a dispersive medium is the medium where the refractive index n is always a function of wavelength. So n is never a constant for any optical medium. It's always a function of wavelength. That means depending upon the wavelength that is propagating inside the medium, the refractive index also changes. So n is always a function of lambda, or in other words, n is a function of omega. So the refractive index is always a function of wavelength or the frequency, and such mediums are called as dispersive mediums. So a dispersive medium. So dispersive medium is the one in which the refractive index of the medium so refractive index depends on the wavelength of the light that is propagating through it. So such mediums are called as dispersive mediums. So along with the fact that the optical fiber is dispersive, and also along with the fact that the line width of the light source is finite, so both of them contribute to the intramodal dispersion or the chromatic dispersion. So today we will try to derive an expression for the material dispersion. So if I plot, so let's consider a case where the laser is truly monochromatic. So if laser is truly monochromatic, so if the laser is truly monochromatic, it means that if I plot the output power, let's say P, as a function of lambda, it's going to have, so it's going to be a delta function. That means in this case, the line width, delta lambda, so delta lambda is the line width or the full width at half maximum. So delta lambda is going to be 0. So if the line width is 0, and if let's say that this signal is being transmitted inside a dispersive medium, you will not be having any intramodal dispersion. However, you would see that all practical light sources is going to have a finite line width. So the center wavelength is going to be, let's say, lambda naught. So here also let this be lambda naught. So here you are going to have a center line, you are going to have a central center wavelength, and then this is going to have a finite line width. So this line width delta lambda is the same as the full width at half maximum. Full width at half maximum. That means you calculate the maximum power, let's say P naught, and then calculate what is the half of that power. So P naught by 2. You take that delta lambda. So that delta lambda is called as the full width at half maximum, or simply the line width. The line width. So the line width delta lambda for an LED is always greater than delta lambda for a laser. So that means if you use an optical communication system with LED as a light source, that optical communication system is going to have a larger dispersion, simply because of the fact that the line width is larger. So if the line width is larger, it means that you are going to have photons emitted at lambda naught. You are also going to have photons that are emitted at the other wavelengths. So at all other wavelengths, you are going to have photons that are being emitted. So all these photons have different, so the light source is going to launch photons at different wavelengths, and all these wavelengths are being launched inside an optical fiber. So you launch all these signals inside an optical fiber, and they are going to have a finite line width. So that means that you are actually launching a group of photons. So basically you are launching a group of photons inside the optical fiber. So each of these photons, they have a slightly different velocity. They also have a slightly different wavelength. They also have a slightly different propagation constant. So since you are launching a group of signals, these group of signals travel with a velocity which is called as the group velocity. It travels with a velocity called as group velocity, which I would denote as Vg. And this group velocity is given by d omega by dk. So d omega by dk, which is the same as 1 by dk divided by d omega. So in this k is given as, so k is the propagation constant, which is given as 2 pi by lambda. So 2 pi by lambda, which is the same as omega by c into n. So omega by c into n. So in fact, for a dispersive medium, k is always a function of omega. K is a function of omega, which means that, and since n is also a function of omega, you can write this expression as k of omega would be omega by c into n of omega. So how did I write this expression? So you know that. So why did I write everything as a function of omega? This is because this is a dispersive medium where it's a dispersive medium, and also you are going to launch a signal having multiple wavelengths. So each wavelength, each photon is going to have a different propagation constant, and therefore it's a function of omega. And also the medium is a dispersive medium, and therefore k of omega can be written as omega by c into n of omega. So which means that Vg, or in other words 1 by Vg So 1 by Vg would be dk by d omega, which is the same as d by d omega of, since k is a function of omega, so this is actually a function of omega. Therefore, this would be d by d omega of omega by c into n of omega. So if I take a differential with respect to omega, this becomes 1 by c into n of omega. This becomes 1 by c into n of omega plus omega into d by d omega of n of omega. So usually when we talk about group velocity, we always represent group velocity in terms of the free space wavelength lambda naught. So we usually represent group velocity, which is nothing but Vg. So Vg in terms of the free space wavelength lambda naught, which is the center wavelength, free space wavelength. So lambda naught. So here lambda naught is 2 pi into c divided by omega, which means that omega is going to be 2 pi into c divided by lambda naught. So in all these relationships, so in all these equations, we are using this fundamental relationship. Velocity is given by frequency into lambda, and therefore omega is going to be lambda divided by 2 pi. So if I use c as the wavelength of the light, then this becomes lambda divided by 2 pi into c. So you have this relationship 1 by c into n of omega plus omega into dn of omega divided by d omega. Now this omega, this term, the second term, this omega into dn of omega divided by d omega. So this can be written as omega into dn of, so dn of omega divided by d lambda into d lambda divided by d omega. So this can be splitted into, so this can be written as, so I keep the first term as it is, and then I simply multiply and divide by d, I simply multiply and divide by d lambda. So therefore this becomes 2 pi into c divided by lambda naught. So because omega is, so omega is 2 pi into c divided by lambda naught. So this term multiply, so this multiplied by dn of omega divided by d lambda naught into, so I'm going to get, if I take this differential, I'm going to get it as minus 2 pi divided by 2 pi into c divided by omega square. So if I simplify that, I'm going to get this relationship as, I'm going to get this expression as minus lambda naught into dn divided by d lambda naught. So since I have already written this expression for the group velocity 1 by Vg as 1 by c into n of omega plus omega into dn of omega divided by. So if I substitute this equation, then I'm going to get this as 1 by c into n of lambda naught minus lambda naught into dn divided by d lambda naught. So this is the expression for 1 by Vg. So this is the expression for the group velocity. So this is the expression for the group velocities, which from this you can get that you can infer that Vg is given by Vg is going to be the inverse of this one. So this term, which means it's going to be c divided by n of lambda naught minus lambda naught into dn divided by d lambda naught. So this term, this n of lambda naught minus lambda naught into dn divided by d lambda naught. So this denominator term, this is expressed as, so I'm going to express this as n of lambda naught. So this is going to be n of lambda naught minus, so this denominator, this entire term will be represented as capital N of lambda naught. So minus lambda naught into dn divided by d lambda naught. So this term I would call it as the group index. I would call it as the group index. So c is the velocity of light in vacuum, and if you have a group of photons which are flowing inside a dispersive medium, then you know that the velocity of light in a particular medium is given by c by n. The velocity is reduced by a factor which is inversely proportional to the refractive index of that medium. So since the group velocity is getting reduced, or the velocity of the group of the photon is actually getting reduced, so this entire term is denoted by the group index n of lambda naught, and therefore the c, so this denominator is ng, so therefore it is denoted as c by ng, and this c by ng is what is called as the group velocity. It's called as a group velocity. So if you are having a source which is characterized by a spectral line width, let's say lambda naught, delta lambda naught, then each wavelength or each wavelength component, or in other words, each photon is going to travel with a different group velocity. So if you are having a group of photons which are launched simultaneously inside the fiber, but at the output side, they all arrive at different time intervals because they all travel at different group velocities. So that means that each of the optical pulse is going to broaden in time domain. So that broadening delta tau, is given by d tau divided by d lambda naught into delta lambda naught, which is nothing but d by d lambda naught into L divided by C into n of lambda naught minus lambda naught into dn divided by d lambda naught. So that time interval, so we are considering an optical fiber of length L. So this is the distance. So this is the distance And if you want to calculate the time, so you simply divide it by the, so you know the distance traveled divided by the velocity. So this is the velocity of the pulse. So if you divide these two, then you are going to get the time. So that's how we arrived at this expression. So if you simplify this expression, then you are going to get the time as, so that delay or the broadening of the optical pulse is given by minus L by C into lambda square into d square n divided by d lambda naught square into delta lambda naught divided by lambda naught. So this is what is, so this is the delay or simply the broadening of the optical pulse of the optical pulse. So this delay or this broadening is what is called as the broadening due to the intramodal dispersion or simply the chromatic dispersion. Okay, the remaining things we'll discuss in the next class. So any questions so far?
No, sir.
All right, so we'll continue the remaining topics in the next class.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome.